The City Prime News. As the NPP goes to the polls on Saturday, we spotlight Kennedy Japan, who is seeking another shot at the NPP flag bearer position.
It's power we want. We don't want a flag bearer who cannot give us power. So I'm begging you. You see these 10 months in opposition, how you are sweating. I'm also sweating.
Still, in this edition of the City Prime News, Cybersecurity Authority raises alarm over new malware targeting banking details through WhatsApp web.
Threat actors initiate the attack by sending malicious zip files to victims through WhatsApp messages. These files are often disguised as legitimate documents, encourage users to open them.
And later, Ghana's housing deficit reaches 1.8 million units.
Ghana continues to grapple with housing deficit, currently estimated at over 1.8 million units. This gap is further exacerbated by widespread affordability challenges.
All that and more coming up in this edition of the City Prime News, which is live from our studios in Accra. In the Western region, the City Prime News is on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takoradi. In the Bunu region, we're live on J-Live 95.5 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakuluwaya.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
I am Charles Osukume, grateful to you for your time this afternoon. Let's begin from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has set aside a High Court ruling that annulled the parliamentary election results for the Pandai constituency, halting a planned rerun by the Electoral Commission. The decision was delivered by a 4-1 majority, with Justice Gabriel Scott Poaman dissenting. The court upheld an application filed by the New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament Matthew Nyindam, who argued that the Tamale High Court lacked the authority to nullify the election. Speaking after the court ruling, Member of Parliament for Pandai Matthew Nyindam expressed gratitude to the Supreme Court for upholding the election results.
Thank you to Almighty God for what He's done in my life, and to also thank my lawyers, and also use this opportunity to thank the Supreme Court judges for the ruling, because it's clear that the people wanted to change the will of the people of Pandai, but the Supreme Court has affirmed the will of the people, and I'm most grateful to them. I also want to thank the party from the head to the bottom, that is national, regional, and the constituency, for the support they've given me. And the people of Pandai, I'm sure that when you are in Pandai today, you will see the joy of the people, because they voted for me and they expected me to serve them for the 4 years.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Nyindam. Meanwhile, Majority Chief Whip and MP for Southdai, Roxy Nelson Dafiamekpo, urged calm among NDC supporters and added that the party will take further action after receiving the official court ruling.
So Honorable Nyindam still remains the MP of the people of Pandai, so we call it still maintained. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I mean, the majority in Parliament say that they would consider the option of a review. They say they disagree with the decision of the court.
And for one decision, you can come up with review. Review, they will add 2. Therefore, will not change their position to be 4-3 in the likely event. So I think they should just forget about it.
Well, you had the Majority Chief Whip and MP for Southdai, Roxy Nelson Dafiamekpo. Now, the New Patriotic Party has, however, urged the NDC not to consider the option of a review, as that will come to naught. Gary Macron is the party's Director of Legal Affairs.
So Honorable Nyindam still remains the MP of the people of Pandai, so we call it still maintained. Thank you very much.
Well, that was the Director of Legal Affairs of the New Patriotic Party, Gary Nimakom. Let's now focus on the upcoming NPP presidential election. Now, Kennedy Ohinejapong is entering the 2026 NPP presidential primaries with renewed confidence, citing his second-place finish in the 2023 contest. He says his decision to contest again is driven by duty, not personal ambition, as he positions himself as a reformist challenging the party's current direction. There's more in the Forum Report by Hansen Ajiman.
Kennedy Ohinejapong has entered the 2026 primaries with more political capital than during his debut bid in 2023, having emerged second in the 2023 contest against contenders such as Alan Martin. His camp is now emboldened. His campaign is anchored on what he describes as a personal duty to salvage a party he believes is in decline.
The NDC we are contesting is not a soft opponent. When we were in power, we allowed them to intimidate us.
Throughout the campaign, he has consistently reminded delegates that the party's performance in the 2024 general election is evidence of what he describes as the poor candidature of the then flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
It's power we want. We don't want a flag bearer who cannot give us power. So I'm begging you. You see these 10 months in opposition, how you are sweating. You see? I'm also sweating. So are we going to stay in opposition for 8 to 12 years when they have a candidate that Ghanaians are begging NPP people to bring in?
Kennedy Ohinejapong has been a vocal and outspoken politician throughout his legislative career, at times courting controversy. However, his supporters argue that this is exactly the kind of leadership the NPP and Ghana needs. As an entrepreneur, Kennedy Ohinejapong has frequently touted his job creation credentials. During his nationwide tour, he has promised to leverage agriculture to create employment for the teeming youth, sometimes displaying sample products derived from various agricultural produce to illustrate his vision.
Our yam yields are high, but we don't have enough buyers, so they are sold cheaply, with some even going to waste. If I am elected, I will attract more factories to process the yams into powder.
His campaign has also drawn energy from a prophecy by Prophet El Bernard, who has publicly placed his ministry on the line in support of Ohinejapong's bid. However, data-driven analysis appears not to be in his favor. Global Info Analytics has projected Dr. Bawumia as a likely winner, with its CEO Musa Dankwa also staking his professional credibility on the prediction. Meanwhile, Musa Dankwa claims that the recent outburst by Kennedy Ohinejapong has negatively impacted his polling numbers.
My colleague Hansen Ajiman filed that report. You're still listening to the City Prime News here on 97.3 City FM. When we return, the Cybersecurity Authority is raising alarm over a new malware targeting banking details through WhatsApp web. We have details in a bit. Please don't go away.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
My friends, I'm a very happy man. Let me share my testimony. I needed a home at a prime location, but I didn't have enough money. The little I had was too small to buy even a studio apartment, but a friend of mine introduced me to invest to own from Priority View Homes. I invested the little money I had for only 2 years. True to their word, at the maturity date, I qualified for a 2-bedroom luxury apartment at a prime location in Accra. Now look at me, living in my own home without the usual hassle. If you want a stress-free home to live in, I would advise you to sign up to their invest-to-own policy and say cheers to a new home. You may call Priority View Homes Limited on 055-588-2294, 055-588-2294, and you will never regret you did. Priority View Homes. There's no place like home.
We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, one legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM across all social media platforms for updates and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by Hollard Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, and Didi Shito, and it's supported by Nanes Rice. Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Broadcasting from Accra in the northern region, the news is live on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Pupili 92.7 FM in Wa. In the Upper East region, we're on Source 100.1 FM in Boku and Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo. And in the Northeast region, we're on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nangpanduri. Let's do some more stories on the upcoming NPP presidential election. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has concluded a nationwide tour of all 276 constituencies ahead of Saturday's polls. Dr. Bawumia concluded the tour in the Ashanti region, thanking party members for their participation and urging delegates to conduct themselves peacefully during the primaries. He says that efforts would be made to unify the party after the internal election and refocus on preparations for the 2028 general election. Away from that, the Member of Parliament for Ahafo Southwest, Elvis Osei-Mensah-Dapaah, has assured presidential aspirant for the NPP, Dr. Brianna Champon, of overwhelming support from the Ahafo bloc. Speaking to Citi News during the second leg of Dr. Champon's campaign tour in the constituency, he says the enthusiasm on the ground points to strong momentum for the Brianna Champon campaign.
We have decided that there's no way we are going to think about somebody's parochial increase. We want someone who is a unifier, who is going to put almost all the four aspirants together. And from the look of things, looking at Dr. Brianna Champon's competence, his boldness, how courageous he is, we believe in him. That aside him, there's no one that can bring the rest of the aspirants together. That is why we have decided. That is why we have come up with an equal trend that coming Saturday, we are going to vote for Dr. Brianna Champon. Some people are saying that they are going to employ 3 people like 10. Now here's the case. Dr. Brianna Champon has made it clear that every delegate will pinpoint, will show something, will enjoy, will mention his name, that after 31st, after coming Saturday, if he's able to win or become the flag bearer, he is not going to single out only few people like 10 or more, but rather every delegate is going to enjoy. Every delegate is going to benefit. And this particular message has motivated us to vote as such.
You heard Elvis Osei-Mensah-Dapaah. He is the Member of Parliament for Ahafo Southwest. Away from NPP, the Cybersecurity Authority is cautioning the public against the new malware attack that uses WhatsApp web to steal banking details and login information. In a statement, the authority warned that cyber criminals are changing tactics and exploiting everyday digital use. Here are excerpts of the statement read by my colleague Samuel Akom.
Threat actors initiate the attack by sending malicious zip files to victims through WhatsApp messages. These files are often disguised as legitimate documents or shared under convincing pretext to encourage users to download and open them. Once a zip file is extracted and executed on a Windows device, the Astaroth malware is installed. After installation, the malware silently connects to WhatsApp web, where it retrieves the victim's contact list and automatically sends similar malicious messages to all contacts, thereby propagating itself without the victim's knowledge. In the background, the malware conducts extensive data harvesting activities, including the theft of banking login credentials, one-time passwords (OTPs), browser cookies, and keystrokes. This information can be used to gain unauthorized access to financial accounts, commit fraud, and facilitate further criminal activity.
Those were excerpts of a statement from the Cybersecurity Authority cautioning the public against the new malware targeting banking information through WhatsApp. The authority has also urged users to be cautious when downloading zip files, log out of WhatsApp sessions, and avoid leaving WhatsApp web signed in unshared computers. Let's do some stories from the Government Accountability Series. The Minister of Works and Housing and Water Resources, Gilbert Kenneth J., says Ghana's housing deficit has reached 1.8 million units. He adds that government is fast-tracking the completion of stalled affordable housing projects nationwide. He cites the Oxygen City housing projects and other initiatives as key interventions.
Ghana continues to grapple with housing deficit, currently estimated at over 1.8 million units. This gap is further exacerbated by widespread affordability challenges, which prevent a large portion of the population, particularly low and middle income earners, from accessing safe, secure, and dignified housing. Rapid urbanization has intensified the situation, with more than half of the country's population now residing in urban areas, and projections indicating that this could rise to over 72% by 2050. The demand for housing in metropolitan areas such as Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi has therefore grown exponentially. Unfortunately, the supply of housing has not kept pace with this demand, resulting in overcrowding, soaring property prices, and the expansion of informal settlements.
Now, the Housing Minister further adds that plans are far advanced for the completion of the Saglemi Affordable Housing Project, as agreements with selected developers are being finalized.
My ministry has intensified engagement with the selected developer for the completion of the Saglemi Affordable Housing Project. Following the completion of the developer selection process led by Deloitte Ghana, the head of terms have been duly signed by both parties. The joint venture arrangement concluded among all parties, as well as the shareholders' agreement drafted and mutually agreed upon. The document is currently with the Attorney General for review and finalization. Similarly, the State Housing Company Limited continued works on key projects, including the Surge Homes development at Amrahia, the SHC Gardens project. Both projects are currently at 68% and 70% completed, respectively.
You heard the voice of the Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Gilbert Kenneth Ejay. Well, let's stay with him. He says the Blekusu Coastal Protection Project is 25% complete as government steps up efforts to address the destruction caused by tidal waves along the coast. He says the contract for Phase 2 of the project has been awarded and construction is currently underway. The intervention follows the displacement of thousands of residents in Salakope, Agabeji and Amutinu in the Ketu South municipality due to persistent tidal wave activity. The minister disclosed this at the Government Accountability Series here in Accra.
You will recall in March 2025, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama visited Sulakope, Agaveji, and Amutinu in the Ketu South municipality, where tidal waves had displaced thousands of residents. During that visit, a firm commitment was made by His Excellency, the President, to address that devastation. True to that promise, I am pleased to announce that a contract was awarded for the Phase 2 of the Blekusu Coastal Protection Project. And in August last year, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, officially broke ground for the commencement of this critical project. Currently, the project is 25% completed, and calm has already been restored along the coastline. Additionally, the Lower Volta Basin Sea Defense Corridor has been incorporated into Waka Resilience Investment Project Phase 2, with technical assessments and environmental impact studies currently ongoing.
Again, the Works and Housing Minister says more than 90,000 cubic meters of silt have been dredged from the Odo River under the Greater Accra Resilience and Integrated Development Project, GARID. The sector minister says the exercise has reduced flood risk in the flood-prone communities.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as part of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, that's known as GARID, performance-based dredging of the Odo Channel has continued from the line sections at Caprice and Circle. A post-dredging survey indicates that a total of 90,936 cubic meters of sediment have been dredged and transported to the designated handling sites. Similarly, upgrading interventions, including the construction of storm drains, local drains, major culverts, road paving, as well as other road works in Aloboshi, Akwetema, and Nima are 58%, 62%, and 65% completed, respectively. Other drainage improvement works have also commenced at Achimota, Nima, Paloma, and Kanishi. As part of the non-structural measures, various equipment have been acquired and installed across key water bodies in Accra to support the flood early warning response systems for Accra.
You heard the Minister for Works and Housing, Gilbert Kenneth Ajay. And finally, the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, has dismissed claims that the ministry has hijacked the security services recruitment process. He explains that the measures introduced are intended to reduce excessive human interference and ensure fairness. Speaking to the media, he expressed satisfaction with the ongoing recruitment exercise, describing it as decent and procedural.
Have you seen anybody from the ministry participating in the of the process? I mean, everything is done by the immigration. I'm sure you covered that of police, equally covered that of prisons and the fire. Did you see anybody from the ministry? It's the same challenge that I'm telling you. People are used to being allowed to manipulate the system. They handling it, the human thing. And now I'm saying that let us all wash our hands off it. Some people cannot come to terms with a new order. His Excellency is very firm that this process should be transparent, because obviously the numbers that we have far outnumber what we can take. So if you don't create a fair and equitable system, then you are going to create a problem that will be chaotic. That's all we are doing. They have been in charge. They've planned it. They've done everything. Yes, it's centralized because from the ministry we can see what everybody is doing, just to play our oversight. But we are not in any way doing anything. All we are doing is playing the oversight. And that is the role of the ministry.
Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, ending this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukumi. Thank you for listening.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
One fast, fun, and rewarding